स्मृति.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, नहीं, just check your mic. हाँ,
Yes, ma'am.
no problem. You are audible. हाँ.
Okay.
Janvi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, mic is audible. Okay.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
problem. Unmute. नाइट सर, वो पीपीटी लगा दो यहाँ पे. Each and everyone, please check your mic. Huh? Ask your friends to join immediately. प्रत्येक क्लासमधल्याने आपापल्या फ्रेंडला फोन करून पटकन जॉईन व्हायला सांगा. Azhar already tested links, so he will be here at sharp 6 p.m. Huh? Just call your friends immediately. Those are shortlisted for Infosys in campus in recruitment and still not login here. Call them immediately. Because speaker is already here, we will start sharp at 6 p.m. Total 69 and 50 minus 5 to 6 faculties means 20 students still missing. I will what's Farooq sir? Oh, Farooq sir.
Yes, madam.
Some students still not receive the link. So can you just post it in the group?
Okay, madam. Okay. Okay. Good evening, all of you. So I welcome all of you on this guidance session for Infosys campus recruitment. So I, Professor Sayed from CSE Department, WIT Solapur, welcome you all for this session. So I would request now for Professor Lobo sir to give a brief introduction of the today's speaker, Mr. Azir Khairi.
It gives me immense pleasure to have Azhar Navid Khairadi along with us today. Azhar is an alumni of WIT 2016 batch. Showed his leadership during his studying at WIT itself by holding two posts at the institute level, one of the cultural secretary and the second as the NSS coordinator. Azhar has always been helping hand skillfully students to face various competitions that WIT in. After finishing his graduation in 2016, Azhar is working in Infosys and he posted as a senior system advisor assessment. He is in the specialized in oral application.
Sorry for disturbing you, sir. Your voice is breaking.
Yes.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Okay. He is an educational trainer in generic foundation program and specialized in Oracle application with keen interest in behavioral and technical skill development. Azhar is a member of the District 121 Program Quality Team as a Toastmaster International Chair of Educational Training and Webinars across Karnataka. He is a recipient of Mysore DC for the most valuable contributor of 22. Azhar has excelled and has expressed it and has worked so as a trainer to train our students during the last session of campus. And therefore, we wholeheartedly welcome him back again to his Walchand Institute of Technology.
Sir, you are on mute.
Let me start once again introducing Azhar Navid Khairadi. He is an alumni of WIT of the batch 2016. He has shown his leadership qualities when he was a student itself, holding two posts at institute level, one a cultural secretary and second an NSS coordinator, through which he did a very great number of programs which involved large number of students. He is now presently working in Infosys since 2016 and currently posted as a senior system engineer at Mysore DC Education Training and Assessment Unit. He is a technical trainer in generic foundation program and specialized in Oracle applications. He has keen interest in behavioral and technical skill development. He has been a member of the District 121 Program quality team at Toastmasters International care of educational training and webinars across Karnataka and Kerala. He is a recipient of the Mysore DC Infosys Awards for excellence as the most valuable contributor of 2020. Azhar has excellent soft skills and has been a trainer even for our students during the last campus. And our students took upon his example to then show their soft skills at their interviews. I welcome him and request you all participant students to take the best advantage of what he will be guiding you during this session. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, Anil sir, and thank you, Professor LMRJ Lobo sir, who has been the most stalwart when it comes to guiding me or mentoring me throughout my career in Infosys. As he laid down the very foundation of AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning while I was studying at Walchand Institute of Technology. I am a computer science graduate and I completed my degree in 2016. And I had the opportunity of attending interviews with Infosys at that point of time. And I got placed during those campus placements. Ever since I've been working with Infosys and I have been a part of the training and the training unit of it. So I know a few insights when it comes to Infosys and how do we scrutinize towards getting the best of the resources towards the company, grooming them up to get them ready for the projects and the production environment at Infosys. And not only that, but also to groom them with the basics. So I thought, why not share my learnings across these 3 years as a technical trainer being posted at Mysore DC, who gets a chance to interact with the most amount of freshers that anyone can interact in the entire of Infosys Limited. And along with me, as Anil sir has already introduced, we have Prachi. Prachi has been a very excellent colleague. I'm working at Infosys. I came across her profile very recently, but then she has never failed to astonish me. So to address the behavioral skills part, the personality development part, and how you can give your best in your interviews, considering your personality or behavioral skills, I wanted her to tag along with me. So that's why we are over here. I'll just share my screen and give you an overview of the agenda. Just give me a confirmation once you're able to see the screen. May I know if my screen Thank you. So this session I've titled it up as Prep Up. And today we are going to do a very simple task. We are going to demystify interviews that happen at Infosys or any company for that matter of fact, and we will tackle them, effectively. Starting off, let me give a quick agenda for today. I'll be introducing a few things to you. Then I've divided it into 3 different parts, in which first we will start off with technically speaking, wherein I'll tell you about the technical aspects of an interview, where we will discuss about what all technical topics we need to be prepared for. Second is let's get personal, in which Prachi will help you out how to be amazing when it comes to personal interviews and how to showcase your personality in the best way possible. And along with that, lastly, we have planned this exclusive session of a mock interview, or we will try to experiment whatever we learn in the next 1.5 hours. And finally, we will be closing it off with a question and answer session, because I am sure that whenever I have been to WIT, into that conference room of computer science and engineering department, one thing was for sure, that is more than my content, there were questions, and more than what I deliver, the questions that were asked to me and the answers that I could deliver were the better way of learning across my experience so far. Let me give you a quick disclaimer. We are not doing this as any exclusive initiative by Infosys. We are Infosys. We work for Infosys Limited as employees, and we have gathered all our experiences. Now, what we are doing is we are trying to collate all of this experience that we have had, and we will be addressing certain aspects of interviews, which will be happening very soon at our campus for various companies, and especially we will be totally focused upon the interviews that will be held for Infosys Limited. Yes, we are going to discuss a lot of things across 3 years of our experience, so many things might be coincidentally resembling. So it might so happen that whatever questions we have discussed might end up being asked to you on the day of interview. Just make sure that you do not start describing that we have had a session, Azhar and Prachi had come up and they told us exactly the same questions. So let us not let that happen. So any kind of resemblance that might happen in future course is highly coincidental. So I just wanted to give this a disclaimer as well. Okay, so let us start off with the very first section, that is technically speaking, wherein I, being a technical trainer, will be focusing upon what actually you should be prepared for. Of course, it is an IT company, that to an MNC, and we deal with a lot of software engineering projects. So programming will be involved. So how do we prepare for, and which programming languages do we prepare for would be a big question, especially for non-CSE folks. And let me tell you, being very candid, I am also a CSE graduate, and I also had this dilemma: what programming language should I prepare for? So I'm going to touch the niche and corners of programming languages. Then I'm going to move on to how you can follow the technological trends that are going on, and keep yourself updated to stand that one edge point for surpassing the others when it comes to interviews. How you can be better than the rest of the crowd. What sets you apart from the rest of the crowd? And I'll be discussing that. Along with that, I'll be touching or sharing a few experiences right from my interview to the people who I have had interactions with about logical reasoning. What are the logical questions that are asked, and how did they tackle, or how did I tackle during my interviews? And finally, we are going to see some types of questions. Like, it's not always necessary to prepare all of the questions. If I were to ask all of you, can you put in the chat window, can you know and prepare for all of the questions that might be asked in an interview? Would you be able to do that? If I were to ask you, can you be prepared for each and every question that might be asked for an interview? Definitely not, right? I can see Pooja replying, and Narendra and others also replying. You definitely cannot be. But one thing that we can do for sure is we can cover the types of questions and what is being, got to know out of those questions, what is being tested. We can definitely cover that. And once you're prepared for different types of questions, you know how to respond to them, and that gives you clarity and adds on to the confidence that you have during your interviews. Okay, so that's my agenda. Let me start off quickly with the very first part that I was talking of, which is what all do we prepare for? Now, I would like to know from this crowd, how many of you have been through InfyTQ exam, InfyTQ certification exam or placement exam? How many of you from this batch? Just go on putting, I need you all to be very interactive. Okay, so please be keep your chat window as a first priority because I'll be asking a lot of questions. Is there anyone who has gone through InfyTQ certification for placement? Okay, Pooja says yes, fine. Okay, others, I think you might have had some introductory training happening. Was there an introductory training that happened upon the generic training? That also might have happened exclusively for you as a part of Campus Connect, I suppose. Now, throughout the training that I conduct at Mysore DC, there are three things that you need to be perfectly prepared for. There are three different things that you need to be perfectly prepared. One is you need to be acquainted with programming. That is one thing for sure. Many people think that Infosys is a company wherein we give more importance towards vocabulary, towards speaking skills, towards personality, and very little focus upon the technical aspect. Let me tell you, it's a myth and it's a wrong thing, totally wrong thing. There is a lot of scrutinizing that happens when it comes to technical training. So you need to be acquainted with programming. That's one thing for sure you cannot miss on. Second thing is databases. When it comes to, again, related to programming, you need to know a programming language and databases, because the programming language can create a framework for you, but your data is going to be stored inside a database, right? So there definitely going to be a lot of questions or a lot of scrutinizing upon how well aware are you when it comes to databases. And then thirdly is the networking aspect or the rest of the IT components that come up with programming as well as databases. Okay, so these are the three technical things that you definitely need to be aware of. There is one more fourth thing which people often ignore when it comes to interviews, that is going off the textbook. Okay, how many of you have this habit? Frankly, I also had this habit. If I were to give you an entire textbook, you wouldn't be able to study. But if I give you a quick reference or LMR last minute reading or a guide, you will be very comfortable to prepare for the interviews. How many of you feel so? Let it be interviews or aptitude test you might have gone through. And of course, congratulations for clearing the aptitude test and qualifying for the next round. How many of you feel that, okay, if I have a guide, it would be better, right? Okay, there will be a lot of people, and I can say almost all of us will be very comfortable to have that kind of a guide or that kind of a LMR last minute reading textbook, right? So something that that is off these textbooks and something that can help you into shaping your interviews better is the knowledge of knowing technological trends. What is trending in the field of technology? Okay, so I'm going to touch on these three aspects for sure. And then the fourth aspect will be a star moment where we will, I will be introducing a few easily learnable technological trends right now in the market and how to get yourselves acquainted with them. Okay, so now the next question is for specifically the students who have logged into this meeting. How many of you are clear what interviews at Infosys is going to be? How many of you already know it? You have talked to your seniors, you have talked to people who are already there in Infosys, and you already know what is going to happen in the interviews. Is there anyone like that? Yes? Okay, I'm going to take that silence as a no, that no one is aware of what is actually going to happen. That's good. I'm just trying to understand the temperature of the room so that I can align myself with that. Okay. So the first point let me address is the programming languages. When it comes to programming languages, there are three basic programming languages that we all need to be aware of. One is Java, second is Python, and the third is the basic of them, the grandfather and the very basic of any kind of programming, that is C and C++. Okay, so these are the 3 programming languages you need to be absolutely aware of before you're preparing for your technical interviews at Infosys. One is Java, second is Python, and third is going to be C and C++. Okay, now why this and how do we actually prepare for this? Infosys takes up projects at a huge scale. You might have seen that during the entire of COVID, Infosys has been successfully capable of getting a lot of clients, and that is because we have a wide range of technologies available. Okay, and there is no limitation upon who will be placed at what position in the company, who will be working with which technology in the company, and due to that, these 3 languages will always help you to have a generic view towards programming. Okay, let me put it in a small example. For example, let's say I prepared my slides using Canva. Okay, I've just prepared it on the go using Canva. Fine. Now, can you tell me what are the things that you can think of when I'm displaying this particular web application, right? First of all, what kind of application is this? This is a web application, right? Now, if I were to ask you technically, what all can you see at this particular application? What all can you see? Let me share my screen again. You just have to look at this particular web application and tell me what all can you see in this particular web application. I'll just quickly log in from my mobile as well. Yep. No responses yet. I am waiting for your responses, folks. Can you tell me technically, if I were to tell you this is a web application, what all can you see over here? Okay, lots of images, good. Menus, buttons, very good. Hold on to that. Trending templates, very good. Fine. Now let us take this particular answer. That is, there are some menus and there are some images over here, right? There are some toolbars and some images or some menus over here. What if I tell you that there are a few recommendations that this entire platform is giving me? Okay. For example, if I want to create a poster, I click on the poster and I get a lot of suggestions over here, right? Can you observe that? Yes, as soon as I clicked on a poster, what all did it do? It opened up a new page, a new poster page over here, and it started giving me recommendations. Okay, it says these are the ones that you have recently used. Okay, these are the ones that might be helpful for you, and these are the ones related to some themes. Okay, now I'm going to ask a question regarding this particular phenomenon. Okay, now what do you think is happening over here? When I use this particular login URL, when I use this URL and I'm interacting with the application has a lot of things closely connected to it. For example, till I was on my home page, I was a generic user, but then this generic user becomes an artist or becomes a user for creating a poster when he or she clicks on the poster option. Right now, if I were to ask you on this particular application, would there be only me working, or would there be multiple people working on this application simultaneously? What do you think? Would there be only one person working on it, or would there be multiple people? Very good. Multiple people would be working for it. Now, if multiple people are working, can you tell me, will all of them, just because I'm using poster, will all of them start using poster, or they have the liberty of working on their own content? What do you think? Will they be working upon their own content? Of course, right? They will be working upon their own content. Now, how is this possible? How is this possible? Just a sec. Sorry for the technical interruption. Okay. Okay, they have liberty of working on it. Now, how is this possible? This is possible because a session is being created for each and every new user, right? This is an application, this is a web application, but then there are multiple sessions created over the same application. If I were to ask you, is there anything related to programming or anything related to applications that a concept that you might have heard of in Python, Java, or C++? What would that be? I already see one interesting concept, that is multi-threading, coming in. What are other technical aspects you think are related to this phenomenon, wherein there is one application and there are multiple sessions of the same application? Can you connect this to any programming concept? Okay, let me give you one more hint. Very good. Okay, there is inheritance. Fine. Now let me give you a hint. What if I tell you that I have a single class, and what can we create out of classes? We can create multiple instances of a classes. Now, people who are getting uncomfortable, remember, you have to tell me, Azhar, I don't understand classes and objects, so that I can understand how do I ask my questions. Okay, very good. I see people from ETC as well as B replying that there are objects that can be created, right? There is a class and there can be multiple objects created, which are instances of the class, right? Now, if you look at this particular phenomenon, I was talking of a web application, right? And something that is very complex if you put it all together as a developer. But then all of this can be very easily boiled down to the basics of object-oriented programming, right? In which there is a single application, there can be multiple sessions of the same application. How is that possible? That is possible because of object-oriented programming, right? So things like these are going to happen, and that's why Java, Python, and C, C++ are going to be your go-to languages, which will always be asked for or demanded for when it comes to interviews. Nowadays, we are focused more upon Java and Python and very little upon C and C++. Why C and C++? Even after being so deeply, downgraded, that is because mechanical folks have a better understanding of that, right? Mechanical folks, CNTC folks, everyone who is a beginner in programming is supposed to have a good knowledge of it. Okay, so that's about programming. Second, about databases. You need to know how to write queries. That's it, full stop. Okay, how to write update statements, insert statements, delete statements, and how to write select statements and give appropriate where clause, group by clause, and all of these. If you're still not aware of the things that I'm talking of, you better go back to your textbooks, open up the database management system part of it, and start revising those concepts, because this is going to be a must. They will tell you that, okay, this is the table, this is the data. Now tell me which query can get me details of a particular department, or which is ranging from an average, which can get me the average salary of the employee. So this is going to happen. You need to be prepared with SQL, that is structured query languages, and you need to be prepared with queries. Hope I'm making sense so far. Any doubts so far? I hope programming and databases is clear. You need to know databases, okay, and that too especially structured query language, that is SQL databases. Okay, if you know some NoSQL databases like MongoDB, well and good. That is definitely going to add more value to your portfolio. Okay, that's about NoSQL databases. Now, Rishi, if you do not, this is a myth again that mechanical people do not know. Let me tell you, the toughest of the competitors during my training and the toughest of the competitors who become top performers in Infosys are mechanical folks. Somehow mechanical folks and ENTC folks have the habit of adapting to anything and everything that happens. Okay, so that's what this is, a kind of an eye-opener session which we wanted to conduct to tell you that, okay, this is going to happen with you, so get ready with it. Okay, so Rishi, I would definitely want you to make a note of RDBMS, Google over it, and find out SQL databases. Okay, search for Oracle SQL database or SQL databases, and also start preparing for what are queries. Okay, so Rishi, I think you will have to focus upon that, and I would highly encourage the CSE department as well as the IT department to conduct separate workshops over these sessions so that we can make it interesting, as well as we engage as many non-computer science folks into this basics of it. Okay, and the last part out of the two, and the third part, that is networking, that is also very important. Okay, now this is the place where almost all of you might be aware of, again, except mechanical folks. Now mechanical folks know, however, about things on a superficial level, but rest of the branches would be knowing it in depth, that is networking. How many of you know what is networking? Yes, definitely. I'm not talking of all of you going to Arvind's cafe and sitting over there and having a chat. That, not that kind of networking. I'm talking of the real networking that happens, not the one that happens in the college canteen with Arvind Bhaiya. So how many of you are aware of networking? Okay, very good. So you, for the rest of you who are not yet aware about networking, you need to get aware. Okay, and especially you will have to focus upon types of networks. Okay, network topologies, that is how a network is created, and I'll give you the best answer you can give at any point of time, that is centralized network and decentralized network. Okay, distributed networks and centralized network, this is always a favorite question when it comes to interviews, that too technical interviews. Okay, so you need to be prepared about networking as well. And few of the things you might have heard of, like for example TCP/IP, you might have heard of P2P connections, you might have heard of ring topology and star topology, all of these things, right? So these things you must know of. These are the three basic fundamentals of any technical interview that will happen in Infi or across Infosys. Okay, so that's about the three basics. Now along with that, I've promised you I'll tell you what can keep you give you more chances of getting selected. The fourth part, that is getting out of the textbook, which is the out of the textbook material, that is the A, B and C. Okay, A, B and C of IT industries. The A stands for AI and ML. If you know of artificial intelligence and machine learning, not the complete thing, even if you know the introduction of artificial intelligence and machine learning, that will put a very good impression upon your interviewers. Okay, that's A of IT industry, and we are heavily recruiting people for such AI and ML projects. Second, talking of B, that is blockchain. Okay, how many of you have heard of blockchain? Put a blockchain word in the chat window if you have heard of blockchain. Blockchain and big data. Have you heard of these two concepts? Big data and blockchain. How many of you? Okay, very good, perfect. You need to read at least two softwares related to blockchain and big data. Okay, in big data, at least Hadoop, you should know introductions. Okay, if you're introductorily, even if you know how it works, the Hadoop system of big data, I'm telling you, it will give you more chances of getting selected. It will leave a different level of impression upon your interviewers. Okay, that's Hadoop. And second is blockchain. You must know at least the basics of blockchain. Okay, what is Bitcoin and what is mining. Okay, if you can prepare for that, I can guarantee you the interviewer will be super impressed upon what you will be answering for. Okay, so that's the B. And last is the C, that is, okay, the artificial intelligence and machine learning. A, B is, okay, yeah, C is cloud computing, right? You might be knowing right now cloud computing is the trend. Infosys is owning almost 75 percentile of the projects are upon cloud transformation, wherein our clients want to get onto the cloud and they want to learn how to do it. Okay, so that's the next concept, that is cloud computing. Get to know what is cloud computing. At least you must know the different types of services provided. For example, software as a service. What are the different services provided by cloud computing vendors, CSPs? Yes, software as a service, very good. SaaS, IaaS, and one more, PaaS. Very good. Pass and IAS. Very good. Very good. I'm really impressed that you guys know about it, because this can keep you one extra step ahead from the rest of the people. Okay, and increase your chances when it comes to technical training. So that's about these introductory things, what you should be prepared for. Next, this also leads me to following trending technologies. So track down artificial intelligence, big data and blockchain, as well as cloud computing, the ABC, the new ABC of IT industries, and read about it. Okay, you need not know the depths of it, only introductory part of it. Fine. And then there is something called as logical reasoning. Now, when it comes to logical reasoning, let me share one of the experiences that I've had when it comes to logical reasoning. Now, there was this friend of mine who went into the interview room and came out looking really worried. Okay, really worried. However, there were two more people who went into the room along immediately after me, but they were super happy with the interview that happened. Now, that is the day when I got to know that there are two types of people in this world. One is the people who are always worried about what is going to happen. And second are the people who are worried about how do I get entertained at any point of time. They just want entertainment. They want to learn and learn. Okay. One person goes in, comes out with a blue face, almost blue face, like, why did that question happen to me? As if that was some kind of a curse that was imposed upon him. And then there were two more people who came immediately after him who were super happy. They were super happy. And then I asked both of the types of people, like I asked the first person, why were you so sad? Why are you so sad? What's wrong? He said, they asked me questions out of textbook. Now, who would be prepared for everything? Right? And he literally was so frustrated on that particular day that he ended up not appearing for the rest of the interviews. But then there are these other set of people, they were like, they asked me something that I had not studied, and now I'm happy that I somehow managed to answer. I did not give the correct best answer available over here, but then I managed to answer. That's soul and whole thing about this particular experience is the logical reasoning part of interviews. You are not expected to give the correct answers. You are expected as well as respected if you are logically thinking upon what kind of answers you want to give. Okay, so please, you need not always know the correct answers. You need to know how to correctly approach towards it. And I think once Prachi is done with her behavioral skills, I think we can have a separate session later wherein we cover all of that. Okay, so that's about the logical reasoning part of it. So this is about the technical aspect. I will be coming back with more details, but now I would like to hand it over to Prachi to discuss the rest of the half of the session, which is not going to be related to technical, but to a more difficult situation called as personal interview. So Prachi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Azhar. Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? Please tell me a yes or a no. Okay. Just give me a second, please. Just give me a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want to lay down one basic guideline of Infosys again. We are not sirs and ma'ams. So if you can please address us as Azhar and Prachi, that would be better.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Azhar. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Anil, for that wonderful introduction. Now, thank you, Azhar, first of all, for that wonderful session that you took. And I have a couple of ground rules in all my sessions, which I'm going to lay down here as well. Now, first thing first, I'm going to take your next around 30 minutes or so. And Azhar, you can tell me whenever my time is up so that we can keep a track of time. And the second ground rule is that everybody participates in my session. Now, when I say everybody, it includes all the faculty, it includes Azhar, and it includes everybody else who's there in the session. Yeah, so are we good with these ground rules? Say yes or no. I want everybody's reply on the chat, yes or no. Everyone, say yes or no. I can't see any answers there on the chat box. I hope I'm audible.
Prachi, you're audible and people are responding.
Prachi,
I
yes.
think there is a network lag at your side. I think so.
Okay. Oh yes, now it got updated. Yeah, thank you everyone. So great. And the next ground rule that I have, I always do this in my sessions whenever I take. I don't want to make this a session. I want to make this rather a discussion, which is amongst us, amongst you, and you and me. So whenever we talk, you feel free to add any of your experiences. Please feel free to add of your experiences, or maybe share your experiences. If you have any example, if it reminds you of any incident, please feel free to do that. I would also love to learn from you at the same time, and I will tell you something from my experience. So, and my introduction has already been given, but just in a brief, my name is Prachi Avasthi and I work with Infosys Learning and Development. So I take care of all sorts of soft skills, behavioral skills, leadership skills, and managerial skills. And if you come to Infosys Pune, you'll see me there. And I also had a plan along with one of my manager. I had a plan to come to your college for Campus Connect, but then due to this COVID, and I don't know, thanks to COVID or not so thanks to COVID, that got cancelled. So let's begin our session on Let's Get Personal, as Azhar has given it a very catchy name over there. So thank you, Azhar, for that. Now, I would give you some basic tips from my end for all sorts of whatever you need for your Skype interviews. Of course, I'm very sure that you have cleared your aptitude, so you're technically sound. And even, in fact, after Azhar's session, you're even sure of what to do and what not to do. So I'll give you some tips that people eventually miss on. Something which people think that, oh, I don't think that's going to matter, but I think that matters a lot. And I don't know how many of us get in any company because of soft skills, but let me tell you, a lot of us get out of a company because of lack of soft skills. So let's not talk about getting out of them as in now when you're ready to get in. So let me tell you a couple of tips. I'm sure they'll come handy with you. So first thing first is you should be the center of attraction. Right? When I say you, it should actually be just you. Not your hair, not your clothes, not your makeup, not anything else but you. Your face should be the center of attraction for everyone. So whenever you dress up, please ensure that you don't dress up in such an over attractive way that all the attention of the interviewer goes on your clothes and they don't see anything apart from your clothes. Number two, always. So when I talk about clothes, it applies same for your hair, same. So yes, don't just keep playing with your hair like this and then, and especially this goes for boys, you know, this does not go for girls. Like just what Azhar is doing, you're not supposed to do that. So it does not go for girls. Girls are still pretty much very stable with their hair. Once they comb it, they don't like to touch it again. But the boys these days, I don't know what's with them. They are continuously playing with their hair, and which is very, very distracting for the interviewer. So it does not give a very good impression if you continuously play with your hair, or even if you touch your face. So these days you've got a lot of advantage. I don't know how many of you, okay, let me take this quick answer from all of you. Being on camera rather than being face to face, of course. So being on camera, does this make you more nervous or does this make you less nervous? What does it do to you? You can tell me in the chat box. Okay, Anukriti says less nervous. And Shraddha says less, Devendra less, Rishi more nervous. Less nervous, Megha less, Yash more, Raj is like comparatively less. Janvi, Rahil, Parth less again. Aniket says more. Chetan says less nervous, Abhinav says more. Narendra, Sharva, Vaishnavi, they're all less. Yash is also less nervous, and Rutika is more nervous, and Aishwarya is less nervous. Okay, great. So all those who are less nervous, and so it's a good news, of course. This times I'm sure interview is going to happen online. And for those who feel more nervous, let me tell you, there's nothing to feel nervous about it. You should feel less nervous because half of your body is not visible. So, and these days, I'm sure you must be following the memes on work from home. You don't even have to get dressed at the bottoms. You can just put on a fancy shirt and can sit and comb your hair. Nobody cares. But yeah, this is one thing that I have decided. If I become an interviewer any day, the first thing that I'm going to ask my interviewers is to get up and show me, are they actually fully dressed or not. So this is my another tip for all of you. Even though you think that this is going to be an online interview, nobody is going to see what am I wearing at the bottoms. Please don't do that mistake. It's completely fine. Nothing harms. Please get dressed completely. Put on your formal trousers, even the ladies, and put on a formal shirt. And ladies, of course, you can go with some sort of suit as well. And even sari, that works as formal. So whatever you're comfortable with, wear something comfortable. Wear something that does not bother you, first of all, and your own attention does not waver. Okay, and especially this goes for the grooming when it comes to your hair. Please put them in a comfortable position. Ladies, if you're not comfortable with your hair open, if you think your entire attention will go on them, you can completely fine. You can, if you tie them into a pony. Yeah, that's up to you. So these were 2 tips related to what you dress, and how you sit is another thing that matters a lot. So if you can observe here, my camera is at my eye level. If you can observe for Azhar too, for him as well, his camera is at eye level, which is a very, very, very important point that often people miss on. And it's not your fault, people. I have seen even the most professional people, even the most senior people who sit with, either they keep their camera very low or they keep their cameras very up, which is a huge disadvantage once again. So if you want to take the most advantage of your camera setup, please keep it at eye level. Now, how do you do that? You can either sit on a chair and keep your laptop on a table in front of you, which again keeps your camera at the eye level. Or maybe if you're sitting on bed, just like me right now, so that's also completely fine. But put something beneath your, maybe a laptop table or something, some stool kind of, that your camera should be at eye level. Now, I hope you understand what I mean by camera at the eye level. That's very, 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 very important. Okay, so by far, did you follow me? Are you with me? Did you understand the tips that I gave you? I request everybody to answer. Anukriti says yes. Okay, Yash, Narendra, Shivani, Rahul, okay, a lot of them. Venu, Neha, Anisha, Janvi, Shyam, Aishwarya, Ananya. What about the rest of us? Do you agree with me? Are you with me so far? Yes. So Lakshmi, Aishwarya, Nidhi, Chetan, Sanket, Devendra, Megha, I think you all agree to what I said, and Muiz too. So the next couple of tips, I'm sure that will help you in your interview. So this I'm telling you how about your body language and your appearance. Of course, I'm going to tell you about what the content can be at the interviews. That also I'm going to cover. So by far, I told you what about the grooming, your dress, your hair, and your sitting also matters a lot. Please try to sit in front of a neutral background, like what I am sitting right now. Do not have anything that distract or that might distract the attention of the interviewer. It can be, a lot of time it happens something very fancy at the background, so interviewer ends up asking that, okay, what's that at the end, or what's that at the back? So please don't do that. Sit in front of a plain background like this and ensure that you have a well lit place. The light should fall on your face. It should not come from the back. This is a very important thing. A lot of time what people do, they just sit under the light. And that is a huge mistake that they do. So please don't do that. Always sit so that the light falls upon you. It should not be at on the ceiling right above you, nor it should be at the back. So it can be, for example, right now where I am sitting, the light is coming from the front and there is a tube light on my left hand side. So that setup works for all of you too. And yes, Azhar says avoid virtual backgrounds. There are two reasons for that. Number one, they can be very distracting. Number two, they hide you. So if you use virtual background, you must have seen that how hazy your picture becomes. And if at all you're showing something, let's say you're moving your hands, so it might be a possibility that your hand is not visible because of any virtual background. Now, if you're asking me, Prachi, is it really important to use hands? Absolutely yes. Do you all agree with me? Do you agree with me that body language, including hand gestures, are important in even on online interviews? I request everyone to answer, everyone. Yes, Venu yes says yes, sure, and everybody else is also saying yes. So please ensure that you're sitting at a distance where you're comfortably able to move your hands, just like what I am doing right now. And important thing is, you will be able to do this only when you log in from your laptop. Avoid using mobiles. I'm not saying that it's a big or huge or absolute no. No, it's not an absolute no, but please try to use laptops instead of mobile phones, because what happens in usually mobile phones is, first of all, your coverage is less. Second of all, if you hold your phone, your one hand will be always engaged in that and you will not be able to focus. So please try to use laptop, which is much more stable and which is much better than mobile phone. Okay. And another important tip, a lot of time what people do is they put up earphones for better clarity. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that putting up earphones is bad, but please do not hang on to your earphones. Now, I don't have any earphone right now to give you an example of. So imagine this is my earphone cord. This is a charger cord, but just imagine if this is earphone cord. So what mostly people do is, just to speak close to the mic, they'll hold the mic like this and they'll speak like this because they want their voice to be more clear. So please don't do that. That is again very distracting. So what do you do in return? Or what do you do instead? You may get yourselves good headsets whose mic come along to your mouth so that your voice is clear. Or if you're confident enough that even without microphones or even without mic or earphone, just like Azhar and I am doing right now, your voice will be crystal clear. So go ahead without it. That's also a good option, right? That gives you even more, it makes you less clumsy. So the lesser you are with the gadgets around you, the better it is. And one more important thing is, just understand one thing. What happens in a face-to-face interview is, we just look at the person and we immediately connect. No, our attention does not usually waver. But on an online platform, it's highly possible that your attention might waver. And you think that, hey, I'm not able to connect with that person. So what do? You just look into the camera. Please keep looking at the camera and you will be able to maintain eye contact. You will be able to maintain that connect with the person. When the person speaks, please then look at the person. But when you are speaking, and if you don't have anything else to check, like I have right now, I have to check in the chat box and stuff, that's perfectly fine. But apart from that, if you don't have anything to check, please keep looking into the camera, and I'm sure that will help you maintain a lot of eye contact, and then you don't have to worry about what do I do about the eye contact. So far with me, did you understand all the points that I told you so far? Yes or no, everyone?
Okay. Before we proceed, can I have some more cameras on, please? Because I'm tired of looking at empty screens. So if anyone is having a stable connection or logged in from laptops, please turn on your camera so that we can see you and be a bit more comfortable.
Okay. So a lot of you have typed in yes there. And I trust that I have completed some basics of How do you handle these kind of setup? So this setup is very important, we feel. And yes, another important thing is, don't wait for last minute connection. Even though you might have the highest speed internet and you think, no, just one click away, like literally people say that I'm just one click away. It does not always happen. The technical connections have a lot more glitches than the face-to-face things. It's very easy to manage things face-to-face, but technically it's difficult. So always start or check your connection at least half an hour before. So if your interviews are scheduled at 6, let's say, then please start to or prepare yourself from 5:30 at least. Try logging in and try to check yourself into the camera. Be comfortable and make yourself comfortable. Don't get nervous, okay? And it's okay, it's completely fine. Even if your voice is breaking, or if somebody tells you that, hey, we cannot hear you, you don't have to get nervous. It's completely not, it's not at all in your hands. So just ensure that you have a stable internet connection. Don't move, don't eat, don't chew, don't drink, don't do anything when you are giving the interview. Yeah, just don't do what Azhar is also doing. So don't do anything that distracts your interviewer. Just focus. And now I want to tell you a couple of tips on how to answer the questions when somebody asks you little personal questions. I'll not say personal questions, but I will say questions on HR sides or personal side. So a lot of times people ask you, tell me something about yourself. Very, very common question, I would say. A lot of people, in fact, these days, even when you give interview after, it does not matter how many years later you give the interview, the first thing that they ask you is, tell me something about yourself. Now, what a common mistake that everybody does, and I don't know if this has happened with you, but a common mistake that everyone does is they start off with, okay, hi, my name is so and so, I have studied from this college, I got so much percentage, I am this year pass out. Crap. Nobody wants to know what is already written in your resume or a CV that you have already handed over to your interviewer. Very important to note down. Please do not give redundant information. You may say that if you really wish to, if you're not very comfortable directly starting off with something apart from this, you may say that, as you can read in the CV, I am so and so, or as you already know, and then you may tell him or her something which is not there in your CV. You may tell that I am a so and so person. Let's say if you ask me, tell me something about yourself, Prachi, then I will say that I am an Infosys professional and I am an extrovert who loves to party and go out and traveling and painting and anything and everything that involves my communication skills. You'll see me standing first in the queue over there. And in my professional sides, I also love to do this, that, and then that's how you proceed. I am passionate about singing and writing, and whatever you want to include over there, you may. So, see, the basic intention behind every question that an interviewer asks is to know how honest are you. They don't want to know that how much have you done in your life. They don't care. Honestly, nobody expects anything from a person who has just graduated from a college. Honestly, this might, I don't know if it saddens you or it makes you more happy, but let me tell you, even after 3 years, nobody will expect anything from you. Even if today Azhar and we go out to another company, we'll also be treated as a freshers. This is a very, I don't know, sad fact or a happy fact, but it's a fact. So they just want to know that how honest are you? If you don't know something, just say it. That I am sorry, I don't know this. But at the same time, they want to see that how keen are you to learn if you don't know something. So let's say if Azhar asks you a technical question tomorrow, and if he asks me, let's say, that Prachi, what is RDBMS? And I might say that, hey, it's Relational Database Management System. And probably that's all I know about it right now. But maybe if given a chance, I would love to know about it. And maybe if you give me another chance, I'll read and come back. Now, this is what they want to know. They don't expect you to give every answer, but they expect you to be honest. And at the same time, they want to see that how curious are you, that will you be able to learn it. Now, a common mistake that a lot of people do is they just want to show that they are the smartest of all. They just want to show that I am better. No, you don't have to show that you're better. You just have to show that I can also be one of the value to your company. It should not matter to you that how many people are there waiting and I have to outpass them. No. If a company likes you, and it will take you no matter how many other people it has taken along. So don't try to fool your interviewer. A lot of time people do is, if they don't know an answer, they try to make those round and round jalebis over there on the day of interview, and nobody likes that, not even the interviewers. And they're very good at it. Believe me, when they ask you these questions, they exactly know that do you really know the answer or you're just trying to befool them. They know it. They know what kind of questions you can answer, and they also know what kind of questions you cannot answer. So please don't try to befool your interviewer. Always show that eagerness that I don't know this, but I can definitely answer this. There is a very thin line, I will say, between being smart and between being over smart. I'm not saying that don't answer smartly. Be smart in your answers, but don't try to outwit the other person. Are you with me on this? Do you agree? Yes.
Especially people who have seen that video in which the guy goes and gives all over smart answers and gets hired. That does not happen in real life.
That does not happen anywhere. Please, let me tell you, the way that person is dressed up and says that you keep your job, I'll keep my attitude.
Oh,
These people only keep their attitudes and they never get a job. they just keep attitude and they never get a job. So please don't fall trap for those kind of interviews or videos that you see all over internet. Those people are already getting paid for what they are doing, but you are not right now. Okay. So again, don't mind me for being so honest here, but I really want you to improve on that. Okay. So this is these now a couple of lot more questions you will get. So be honest and be natural. Don't try to find all those flowery words. Don't try to find out the smartest of all the answer. Just tell what it is with you. When somebody asks you, what are your weaknesses? Don't say, I'm a workaholic and that's my weakness. I don't get proper sleep till I finish my work. Oh my God, nobody is that, please. Nobody is that on this earth. Do not try to flatter your interview. Just tell that one of my weaknesses is it's very difficult for me to get up in the morning. And in this question, if anybody ever asks you that what are your weaknesses, let me tell you, there is a hidden question in that what are you doing to overcome that weakness, which nobody asks you, but it's your duty to tell them. So I might say that one of my weaknesses is that it's very difficult for me to get up in the morning. However, for past 1 month, I've been trying very hard, and I'm very happy to tell you that after 1 month, it's been successful 5 days that I have been able to wake up at 6 in the morning. So these are some couple of questions which they just expect you to give good answer. They want to have a good conversation with you. They don't want to have a conversation with the smartest and the wittiest person on this planet. They just want to know that who you are as a person, who Pooja is, who Rutika is, and who Anisha is, or maybe who Neha is, and not what is the smartest answer. Now, there is no right answer to this. There is no wrong answer to this. It's an honest answer or it's a dishonest answer. That's what I will say. Yeah. So did you all understand so far? Okay, Pooja, no, ma'am. Great. Yash, Yash, I just told you that you don't have to call me ma'am. Mansi, you too. And if you people are still calling me ma'am, that means you have poor listening skills. Now, poor listening skills reminds me of one more thing. Please always listen to your interviewer carefully. You might even nod a little. You might want to encourage your speaker. And if they say, Azhar, tell me something about yourself, then do not say, my name is Azhar. Okay, if they say Parth, tell me something about yourself, Parth. Then you don't have to say, hi, I am Parth. That means you were not listening when they said, tell me something about yourself, Parth. Right? So you have to pay little attention to what exactly the interviewer is asking. Please be yourself, be confident, and loosen up yourself. They just want to know about you. And it's okay. Infosys have their own grilling process. So you don't have to worry much about interviews. It's very easy to crack. Don't worry about it. So let's do some hands-on, and or maybe yes, let's take some questions from all of you, and then we'll do a couple of hands-on to understand that if you have understood the tips shared or not. So if you have any questions for Azhar, or if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. And then if you don't have any questions, then we will ask a lot of questions.
It's always a better deal for you to ask a question. So unmute yourself and talk to us, folks. And we would prefer that rather than the chat window, if possible.
Yes, Mr. Azhar.
Yes, sir.
Miss Prachi. I'm really happy to listen both of you. Actually, I also learned so many things. I joined little late. I was in college only up to 6 p.m. So I joined at 6:30, but I decided not to interfere. So it was really wonderful. I joined your session halfway maybe. And Prachi, I'm listening you since beginning. And as you told, I will share a recent happening with one of my son, elder son, Mr. Suraj. He is working in TCS since last 5 years. And recently he has been interviewed by Infosys person.
Okay.
And he was sitting with, as you say, he was wearing good shirt, but bottom side, as you said, he was very okay. And that person, after interviewing, he told that you upload your Aadhaar card or something like that. But my son was a little wise enough. He didn't stood up. He just took it from with the hand and he uploaded it. So what I want to share is that these are the real life stories. Okay,
Exactly.
my dear student friend, don't take any single word lightly. Actually, though I am very much elder, I have total 33 years of experience. Recently, I took as a TPO in WIT. I worked in WIT for a long period earlier. Meanwhile, I was out. I don't want to waste your time, but recently I joined 2 years back and given charge of TPO. And now I'm learning so many things. So I took all the notes. So in WIT, I found that majority of students and faculty don't have habit to write the things. So whenever you are attending any session, you must have your pen. Now we are not facing interviews, so we can look here and there. If you want, you can see my file, okay, and
Yeah.
my pen. So everybody should note down, because many times it happens that when somebody is telling, we forget the things after some time. So if you note down the points, it will be always helpful for revising the thing. So on behalf of WIT, I welcome both of you, and I am definitely sure that you will visit your institute. Both of you are our students. So I welcome both of you, and I thank Rashmi also for arranging this wonderful session. I request you continue now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful words.
Yeah.
And I were to come to Walchand for Campus Connect from Infosys officially, but because of this corona, that got postponed. So maybe next term I will be there. See you in your campus.
Yes, welcome, madam.
Thank you. Yes, any questions if you have? If you don't have any questions, then we have prepared a lot of questions for all of you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Prachi, please take it up.
Sure, that this is my favorite question. Anybody who asks me that how to be fluent in English, this is one of my favorite questions, and this is a very tried and tested way that I have tried on myself. And all those who face difficulty in mastering any language for that matter, forget English, I'm saying any language if you want to master, the only one and only long-term solution is to speak it as much as you can. Now, it might sound very cliche, but let me give you a little science behind how it works. But before I tell you, I have a question for all of you. How many of you trust that reading improves speaking? That the more you read, the better you become at a language. How many of you trust in that? So there's no me. The answer should be I. If you do, you can write yes or you can write I. Okay, Sanket, Megha, Smriti, Sharva, Mansi, Raj, Pooja, Janvi, Avinash. Great. So you all think, okay, Sanket says no, Anukriti, Shraddha, Sohail, Rishi. Yes, it might help in vocabulary. Now let me give you little facts, some science behind how or what improves your English. Your reading never improves your speaking. Now, this is one myth that has been floating around a lot. And this is a misconception that people have, that the more I read, the better I become at speaking. No. You will definitely be better at your vocabulary, but it will never prompt you to use that vocabulary which gets created by reading. The vocabulary that you will use the vocabulary that we tend to use is only the vocabulary which we gain by listening. So let me tell you, there is this, the better listener you are, the better speaker you will be. The better reader you are, the chances are you will be a better writer. So that is why we have these duos in Hindi. I don't know if you know Hindi or not, but likhna, padhna, kehna, sunna. So why likhna, padhna come together? Because the more you read, the better writer you become. The more you speak, the more you listen, the better speaker you become. Now there's this very, very easy science behind it. So let's say Azhar comes to me one day, and Azhar is practicing English a lot, and Azhar does not know a lot of words in their vocabulary, which can be a common scenario with all of us. Now Azhar wants to, let's say, compliment me for my watch, but he does not know the word for it. So he'll come to me someday and he says, Prachi, you have a nice this thing, Prachi, nice. And he'll fumble there. And he might not know what the word is. He might panic, he might sweat, and a lot of things might happen. Now his brain will know that Azhar does not know the word for this. Now his brain will subconsciously start looking for this word in other people's speeches. So someday, let's say Rishi comes to Azhar and Rishi says, hey, Azhar, nice watch. And Azhar's brain will have that aha and eureka moment that, oh, this thing is called as watch, and it will subconsciously pick that word and fit in Azhar's vocabulary. So the more you speak, the more gaps you understand what are those gaps in your own vocabulary, and your brain subconsciously starts picking those words from other people's dictionaries, and that's where the listening comes into picture. So if you really want to improve your English or any other language for that matter, no matter how terrible you are, find yourself a buddy and every day at least try to practice speaking English for 2 to 3 hours. And I'm sure you'll see this magic max in 1 month or so, max. Yes, thank you, Anita, for agreeing, and great. So I hope I have answered that question. Anil sir. Anukriti has a question. Yeah. Yes, Anukriti, go ahead. Okay. Great. So if somebody asks you that where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years, what exactly is expected to answer? Great. Now, the most common and the most stupid answers that you will hear people giving, I want to see myself sitting at your place and interviewing. I want to see myself at being a manager. No. Actually have a plan for yourself. Think about it. Where do you want to see yourself 5 years down the line? Do you want to, so you may say that, okay, yes, there's one more thing. When I said that be honest does not mean be stupid, don't say that I'll be sitting in a better company and making more money. Now, this is a very simple, very thin line between being smart and being stupid. So say that I expect or I see myself having smarter goals or sitting at a better position and adding more value to the company. Now, this is a smart question. I'm not saying that copy this answer as it is, but answer it smartly. Don't just say that I want to see myself switching and having double package in another company. I will never hire you for that answer. You have to give answer which has got related to the company of the interviewer. Say that you see yourself in a better position, in a higher management position, or maybe adding more value, becoming a better asset to the company, something like that. Okay, I hope I've answered your question, Anukriti. Yes, Azhar is right there. Use smart goals, as I said. So you may tell that I have certain goals, I have certain long-term goals, and you may even tell it on a personal basis too. So don't just say that I see myself this as professional person. You can also say that I love to play drums, and in 5 years I want to see myself as a professional drummer. Maybe on a personal note, you may say that on a personal note, I see myself as a professional drummer. Yes.
So, Prachi, I would like to add on over here. Like,
Yes.
there are two frameworks that I love for preparing this particular question, which I personally used and have benefited a lot. One is SMART goals. That is the abbreviation of SMART. That is simple, measurable, and so on and so forth. Use that framework. Yes. Use that framework. So there is a table available online. I'll share a link with you. You can fill up that table with data, and you will have good answers out of it. Okay, especially when it comes to long-term and short-term goals. And secondly, there's something called a SWOT analysis. Please, please, please do SWOT analysis. It's a must. Very cliche approach, but then it gives you a lot of clarity to speak. Okay, so SMART goals and SWOT analysis will help you at any point of time.
Yes. Okay, Sanket has a question there. What should be our approach when interviewers asks, do you have any questions for them? Okay, great. So I will tell you that what I asked when my interviewer asked me, and I don't have any opinion on what kind of a question was it that I asked. I asked them that Infosys, so I asked, he asked me that, if you have any questions for us. So I said that, look, I don't have any questions as such, but I'm just curious to know that since Infosys is anyway a very billionaire or a $1 trillion company, so where does Infosys see itself 10 years down the line? And that was there. Probably he just gave me a smile and he said that it's a smart question. And they asked me, and they gave a very honest answer there. So genuinely, if you have any questions, don't ask if I am selected or not. Don't ask that how was the interview. Maybe you can ask that you may take feedback. That is a great way. If they say that, do you have any questions, you may ask for a feedback, for an honest feedback. Or you may even ask that since we had a talk for last 30 minutes, do you have any suggestions for me? So these are some questions which you may ask. Don't try to ask the smartest question on this planet. Be honest, be gentle, be yourself. If you genuinely have a question, please ask them, or you may even seek feedback. You may ask some suggestions. They'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, I hope I've answered. Whose question was it? Sanket.
Interesting.
Sanket.
Some more interesting questions have come in, Anil.
Yes,
from Anil sir. These are related to personal interviews. That is, what if I don't hire you? Why should I hire you? And how are you better than candidates? Basically, the questions which challenge your integrity kind of a situation. How do we handle those?
So if somebody asks you, what if I don't hire you? You may simply say that I will respect your decision. I would definitely, at the same time, I would definitely request you to give me the feedback that what went wrong, so that I can improve it for the further coming companies and their interview. That will help me to prepare better. Don't say that if you don't hire me, this is the last company, I'm going to die suicide and my morale is going to be down. No. Simply ask them, tell them that it's okay. I respect your decision. I'm sure there must have been a valid reason for you not hiring me. However, I would definitely like to know that why did you not hire me so that I can improve it for further interviews. Yep. And why should I hire you is a very good question. At this point in time, you may tell something of some of your technical strengths, I will say. So, for example, you may say that please hire me. Let's say I am a learning and development professional. So, I will say that you might want to hire me because I have a good experience in the field of rendering soft skills and managerial and leadership skills training. And I'm sure that with my experience, I can add a lot of value to your company, which I'm sure you already have. But I also have some rich experience in my job, and I'm sure I want to add that so that we mutually benefit each other. Now, again, I'm not saying that copy paste these answers, but it's a good option. It's a good chance for you to showcase your technical skills, to show your professional skills. And you may also say that, so like, for example, a lot of people ask that, how are you better than other candidates? Then if you really think that there's something unique about you, you may say that while everybody else here who has come for this interview is professionally and technically qualified, I am also qualified as per soft skills. My communication skills are something that are exceptionally good as per whatever feedback I have received so far. And then you can go ahead and tell something personal about you apart from your professional skills. So these are two different things. Just last sentence I'll say. So why should I hire you? Please go ahead and tell your professional skills. When they ask you how are you better than others, please go ahead and tell something which is apart from your professional or technical skills. Yes, over to you.
Thank you, Prachi. So there's a question coming from Megha, which I would like to answer before we get into the next segment, which is a very common question and a very important aspect to be thought of. That is, what do you expect a mech student to answer, mechanical or civil engineering student to answer, if they are asked why being a mechanical engineer you're opting for a software industry? I want to give away a few insights being a part of Infosys. That is, Infosys works not only upon the coding part of it, but also a lot more upon designing, and especially towards aircraft designing, as well as automobile designing and other things as well. There's a lot of strength of material SOM-COM projects going on. There's a lot of Abacus and AutoCAD going on, and there is a lot more than just C, C++, Python, and Java, as I had mentioned. Okay, those are the basics. They are not looking for people who will learn languages, because to be very frank, you can go to tutorial school and by tomorrow you can become a beginner in any language, right? So that is going to happen. Now, what you should answer is, you find out projects in Infosys that are apart from just coding, right? Software is not only about coding. It's about
Azhar, your voice is going in between and it's becoming very feeble.
Okay, I think that's because of my internet. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Just repeat what you say now, because voice is breaking.
Sure. Okay, fine. So, am I audible now?
Yes.
Thank you. So that might be my Airtel network going up and down sometimes.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So what I was mentioning is, getting into a software industry is not only about coding. Okay, coding is a very small part of it. Infosys is involved into developing a lot more. Like, for example, mechanical folks are often mapped towards projects which involve designing of aircraft materials, doing automated testing using SOM and TOM, that is strength of material and the rest of the things, using Abacus, Autodesk and other things, or AutoCAD and all. Okay, so all of those things are also there. So you should be very clear to your interviewer that I am looking forward towards such projects where I not only code, but also being a mechanical engineer, I know the physics behind it. I know the chemistry behind it. I understand the dynamics of it. I understand how air pressure differences can make a very key role when it comes to an aircraft being designed, right? So it's not about that question particularly. It's not about how do you correlate it towards coding. It's rather about how do you understand that software is no more just software. A lot of it has become embedded. So almost all of you might be aware of embedded softwares, right? So embedded hardwares as well as embedded softwares, right? So it's a mix of both of them. And please try to get your answers aligned to that. Try to mix up software with hardware and give answers. I'll tell you, they will be super impressed. Okay, and this is another interesting thing I found out with the Infosys panel of interviewers. There is a wide variety of age in the Infosys panel. You will find young people, you will find old people as well, okay, elder people as well. And all of them, let me tell you, irrespective of their age category, are looking for dynamic people who are ready to learn. They do not want show-off people, they want humble people who, if told that you're not good at this, undergo this training and get yourself in, you would be ready to do that. Okay, that's the kind of a personality you need to portray. Okay, they do not want show-off people. We already have a lot of them, but we want people who are humble, who are ready to learn. Okay, so always have your answers that pointed that way. Fine. So we are gonna pause the Q&A session for now. It's already 7:30, and we will move on towards the mock interview that we have planned. We wanted to have a hands-on interaction so that we cover some niche and corners which we might discover as we are experimenting with it. So we'll do one thing. We will select one candidate each. So I'll give Prachi the privilege to select a guy. Go ahead, Prachi.
Okay, people, how are you feeling? Feeling scared? I'm gonna pick anyone randomly. So let me pick.
Meanwhile, if anyone wants to volunteer, you can, of course, nominate yourself. This is going to be a very short process.
Let's take anybody who wants to volunteer first, else I'll pick.
Yep.
10
So
seconds.
10 seconds. Yeah.
One guy and a girl. One guy and one girl. So Pratik just left the meeting.
Maybe the network issue.
Okay, if nobody, I pick Raj.
Okay.
नाम तो बहुत सुना है. So Raj, where are you?
Okay, Raj, can you unmute yourself and turn on your camera, please?
Hello, am I audible and visible too?
Yes, Raj, you're visible as well.
Okay.
I get to pick a girl then?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone wants to volunteer though?
I want to.
You are by default candidate. Okay, can I have Megha Vanaskar?
Sure.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Right. So what we are going to do is we are going to drive this as a two-part interview, wherein we will have 2 questions from technical side and 2 questions from personal side, which will be asked by me and Prachi respectively. Okay. There are hidden elements behind every question, and one question will be easy and one question will be tough to answer. Okay.
Not tough,
Yeah.
tricky question.
Tricky question. So for some people, it becomes tough. Okay. Let us start off. Now, most probably this is going to be an online interview process. So I want some more of the people to turn on their cameras if possible again. However, I can see Megha as well as Raj visible. Okay. So I'll start off with the technical part. Prachi, what's it?
Sure,
Okay.
go ahead.
So, yeah, and I'll start with the technical part of it. So I'll interview Megha. Megha, right? Am I?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So the first question that I would like to ask is, tell me about inheritance in object-oriented programming.
Being a mechanical, I don't really recall inheritance, but it is something to do with the codes that is being passed on, or the information which is previously existing, so that is being passed on to the newly called class, you can say.
Okay. That's cool. That's really good. Now, the piece of information for everyone over here, the learning that I can see from that particular answer is very clear. That she's taking the literal meaning of inheritance, that is the actual meaning of the word inheritance, and she is very cleverly applying it to the jargon that she knows related to coding, that is classes. Right? So this is a very good approach actually. If you see, computer science folks would say this is entirely wrong. But then it's again not about how right or how wrong it is. It is rather about how well did she approach towards it. Okay, and all of the computer science folks or anyone who knows inheritance would agree that this is what the concept is. If a class is having attributes, that is the variables and methods, okay, those classes, if they have child classes, the child classes can use the attributes and the concepts of the functions from the parent class. Okay, that's the concept. So I think you did a good job. That's a good start. So this is an easy question. Now, folks, two topics that you need to be aware of when it comes to technical interview, especially your coding skills. That is object-oriented programming, and especially in object-oriented programming, the principles related to object-oriented programming, that is inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation. Okay, so Google these keywords, and if you are prepared with this, I think you can tackle a lot of questions. Okay, now we will get into something that is off the textbook. Ready for it, Megha?
Yes.
Yeah. So Megha, tell me something about cryptocurrency.
The whole idea of going into cashless economy is cryptocurrency. Basically, it is a Bitcoin, or it's a coded kind of a currency that is generated, which is passed on, and you can track all the transactions. Like it's a it's a code which has been saved or something, that you can track every transaction since the beginning of the currency that has been generated.
Okay, that's cool. Would you like to add on something else to it?
No, that's it.
Good. I like this. Okay, I like this. If you do not have anything else to add on, you say that you do not have anything else to add on. Okay, start again creating the jalebis that Prachi talked of. She's from Kanpur, so she loves jalebis. So do not please start twisting your answers round and round. Okay, be straightforward so that at least the interviewer gets more time to ask something else. Don't waste time over something that you don't know, right? The time itself is a currency. So very well done. At points where you do not understand, again, the literal meaning of it, break two words: cryptocurrency. Currency, economy, money being paid. Crypto, something related to cryptography, that is hidden or security purposes, and then you can build up your answer. Okay, so try to learn that art, and you will definitely get to know if and only if you are aware of this. Okay, now I'm going to move to the next volunteer, that is Raj. Hi, Raj.
Raj, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry. Hello, sir.
Now.
Yeah, now you're audible. Now, Raj.
So, Raj, you have very poor listening skills. We told you not to call us sir or ma'am.
Okay. It takes time, so that's fine. Okay. Now, okay. Would you like to react to that, Raj? Would you like to react to that?
I'm sorry, but actually I didn't understand the question. Actually, I wasn't able to listen the question clearly.
Yeah. So that's what
so
Prachi just said. Prachi just said that you're a poor listener.
Okay.
Because you're calling us sir and ma'am, despite the fact that we have told it thrice not to call us sir and ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will not call you sir and ma'am.
Okay.
I'll not call you sir.
Okay, Prachi, I would like to further ask him a question. Are you doing this on purpose by any chance, Raj?
No.
Because I think you are doing it on purpose.
No.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Okay, this is what personal interviews can get. How personal interviews can get. They are going to test your nerves. Okay, sometimes they will put you in such tricky situations where they will challenge your entire belief system and your principles altogether. Okay, at such point of time, what will you do, Raj? What will you do?
I will try that. Just like now that I was a bit nervous, I became nervous. So I will try that I don't become nervous at that time.
Exactly. Don't be nervous. We are all humans. I'm going to give this to Prachi to answer this, to tackle this situation. How do we do that? So over to you, Prachi. What if someone does this with you? Yeah.
Yes, so someone does this. Megha, this is a feedback for you and everybody else who's here. I don't know if you noticed, but when Megha was answering questions, she was flickering her attention a lot. She was looking up at this like this and this side and this side, which is fine. Don't worry, Megha. Occasionally, for a second or two, it's completely fine that you look out of the camera, but quickly get back, so that you keep an eye on the interviewer's face as well. When you don't look at the interviewer in the camera, they think that my reaction is not visible to you. So you have to keep an eye on the interviewer too, that what is his face's expression or reactions. So please don't look here and there when you're answering. And if somebody so at times you will see your interviewers are deliberately making sad expressions or maybe confused expressions, that what kind of an answer is this person getting, or I'm not liking this answer. But don't fall for those traps. Do not fall for those traps. Keep your confidence up. Whatever you know is your knowledge, right? And even if it is wrong, it's completely fine. You're there to learn. Nobody wants to see that how much do you know already. They want to know that how much are you willing to learn. So that's completely fine. Now I have a question for Raj and Megha both. You can answer one by one, and I'll give you one tip after this question. Tell me something about yourself. Very short. I want you to just keep it 1 minute answer, nothing more. Raj, tell me something about yourself.
Okay, so basically, my resume covers, but I can't show my resume right now. Okay.
Wait, Raj, wait. Everybody here, never start your sentences with so basically. This is, I know the Snapchat filter says, okay, so basically. Never do that. Never ever start. If I were your interviewer, Raj, you were out of the interview right this moment.
Right away.
Right away. Never start your sentences with so, actually, basically, you know, I know everything. So don't tell me you know. Please don't say all these. Okay, now over to you, Raj. Don't feel nervous. Be at ease. Don't worry. Yeah, go ahead. You're on mute.
Yes.
It's okay, happen. Yep.
It's okay, Raj. Go ahead.
Okay,
you can start from where do you belong to, maybe, if you wish to.
Perhaps.
Okay, so sorry.
So when I tell people not to use so, they are like, so sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I am from Udaipur. Rajasthan. I belong to Udaipur. Now, I am completing my Bachelor's of Engineering from WIT, and and I am into more in game development than in Python and like that. So, and I have also made projects in game development. So, I'm trying to learn Python. I'm with Python from past 1 year. So I'm trying to learn Python and databases.
Good.
Okay, good going, Raj. I'll ask you to pause here. I'll pass it over to Megha. Megha, your turn. Megha, tell me something about yourself.
Yeah, I am Megha Vanaskar, currently pursuing my mechanical final year.
Okay, fine. Stop. We know that.
Megha, stop.
I can see your name in your chat window.
मतलब मेरी पूरी मेहनत पानी में चली गई right now. When I tell you, Megha, tell me something about yourself, the last thing that I would want to hear is, I am Megha. I just said, Megha, tell me something about yourself. Okay, no problem. I understand you people are feeling a little pressured. Don't get pressure. What I want to tell you here is one very helpful tip. I request everyone else to go on mute. One very helpful tip is that the control of your interview is in your hand. Now, if you ask me how, if you ask me, Prachi, tell me something about yourself, I will take my introduction in a way that I want my interview to pick it up from. So if I want my interviewer to ask me more technical question, I will end my answer on a technical note. So I may say that I am Prachi, I am from Kanpur, UP, and personally, I pursue a lot of hobbies, like I like to sing, I like to write, I like to play games. And professionally or on a professional note, I am very much interested in learning Python, and so much so that I have also developed games on that. Now, you see how cleverly I wanted my interviewer to ask questions on Python and the game that I have developed. So I ended my answer on this note. But at the same time, if I want my interviewer to not focus on my technical skills and just ask me about my hobbies, I will say, my name is Prachi, I am learning Python, but apart from that, I am very good at writing and I love to sing, and I just be myself when I write at the night and it gives me wings to fly. Then, oh, you write, Prachi? What you write? Now, immediately it's going to be the next question. Believe me, the control, the direction that you want to give to your interview is completely in your hands. Now, 90% of this time this works. 10%, of course, if the interviewer has already decided what they want to ask. But if the interviewer does not have anything in their mind, this is what they're going to follow. So please always end your answer on the note from where you want your interview to pick up. So tip number 1 for this answer.
Super like for that, Prachi.
Yes. Great. So now let's pick 2 more volunteers, Azhar, and then we'll have final right of set of interview.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Megha.
Thank you, Megha. You were very sporty. It takes a lot of guts to come on camera and speak.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Can I have someone who likes Netflix and binge watching next? Please. Yeah. Anyone who loves Netflixing and binge watching? Anyone?
Okay, people, let me tell you one thing. Being proactive matters a lot, especially in corporates. So you might feel very safe not speaking or saying anything, but let me tell you, it's making you even more vulnerable. So it's okay if you do it here in this session, but once you are in the interviews, or especially once you're in the corporate, it will not work for you. Never.
You're losing opportunities. It's as simple as that. If you're not answering, you're losing opportunities.
And there are so many people who are waiting for, in fact, fighting for, dying for the opportunities. So, great. Let me pick somebody here. And you pick someone then. Okay, I pick Yash. Yash Thakur. Are you there?
I saw Pooja coming in. I want Pooja also to turn on her camera and mic. Yash and Pooja, are you there?
Yash, are you there?
Hi, Pooja.
Where's Yash?
Unmute yourself, Pooja. Okay, folks, you have to be careful about this part as well. Whenever you're answering, remember to unmute yourself.
Okay, Yash, are you there? Final call for Yash. Okay, looks like Yash is not there. So
I think that's what attracted you.
Okay, now I just focused on it. Let me pick someone else. So let me pick. Yeah, Yash, we understand totally. We also oftenly have these internet issues whenever we are also called on cameras. That's completely fine. Don't worry. Okay, Sanket, are you there? Sanket Jokre.
Devendra. Can we have Devendra Mure?
Yash left the meeting.
He might be rejoining. I think we can start off with Pooja while you search for others. Okay.
Sure.
Hi, Pooja. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good, Pooja. So, Pooja, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I have a laptop. Okay, I'm trying to switch it on, but it's not turning on. Can you tell me how do we troubleshoot this issue?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your issue.
Okay, I have a laptop
Yes,
and
sir.
it's not turning on. I'm pressing the power button, but it's not turning on. So how do we troubleshoot this? How would you react to it?
Maybe your laptop is running out of battery, so you can try to charge it on.
Okay. I've put the charger cable on, so it's still not working.
Sorry, sir, I don't.
Give it a try. Give it a try. Don't lose your confidence. You know what I'm trying to do, right? Can you
Have
tell me
you
what I'm
switched
trying?
on the button?
Very good, very good. I'm just trying to check if you are comfortable into focusing upon the basics first. Okay, so don't lose confidence. Don't say sorry. It's okay. So be confident. Okay, don't first thing you open up should not be a sorry. Please, yes, Prachi, you wanted to add on something?
Yes, Pooja, you were doing great. I must appreciate you for that. It was really good that you focused on the basics, that please press the switch on button.
That's
Very
good.
nicely answered.
Because I did this mistake. I did this mistake in my interview. I started off with booting, and the bootloader might have gone down, and then the BIOS might be having some problems. And then my interviewer was like, Azhar, I had not turned on the button. So that can happen. Okay. And often such questions are going to be a part of your technical interview as well, to think, to check if how good your logical reasoning is. Okay. Now to the next volunteer, I have one more logical question. So, what's your name?
Parth.
Parth. Can you unmute yourself, Parth? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Parth.
Hi, sir.
Hi,
No,
Azhar.
sir.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Sorry for that.
Okay. So, Parth, if I give you a rope, okay, if I give you a 1 meter rope, and I ask you to measure time using it, will you be able to do that?
So your voice is breaking.
Okay.
I'm
I'll
not able to
repeat my
hear.
question. Let me know if I'm audible.
Parth, can you hear
Parth?
us?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So, folks, get a good internet connection, please. For before your interviews happen, please get a good internet connection. First thing. Okay, Parth. If I give you a 1 meter rope, okay, a 1 meter of rope, would you be able to measure time using it?
Sir, I totally didn't get you. I'm not able to hear your voice.
Okay. Okay.
Let
I
me
think, yeah, his network is not
Hello.
stable. So, in the interest of time, I'm sorry, I'll have to go for someone else. Anyone else who would like to volunteer? Yes, Parth, if you can read it in the chat window and attempt.
Devendra, are you there? Devendra.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, what? I didn't.
Okay, Parth, if I give you a 1 meter wire, will you be able to measure time using it?
Measure time using it.
Yes.
We can use the concept of speed. Like if I, roll the ball over it, and how much time it takes, how much speed the ball is thrown, and we know the distance. So by that concept, we can know what time. We can know the time.
Clever, good. I would give you brownie points for it because that was a good approach. However, there are this is what happens when you are asked for very quiz kind of a question. Okay, this belongs to quizzes. I just saw a network glitch over there. Yes, Manasi, please try to answer it. Yep. Pooja, would you like to answer? Would you be able to do that?
No, sir, I'm thinking another approach is what Parth had said.
Okay. Now, this is good. This is good. What Parth did and what Pooja did, Parth started thinking all by himself and did not inform me. Okay. Whereas Pooja tells me, assures me that, okay, I need some time to think over it, which also convinces me that, okay, she's going to take some time. Parth, do not start thinking about it all by yourself and leave me hanging over there. Okay, so tell the interviewer that, boss, I need some more time. Can I take can I take a minute or two? Don't ask for 5 minutes. It is too much. Ask for a minute. Okay, at least for a minute. Right? Inform. Now, a good, clever answer coming in. That is, I would use it as a solar clock, which I tie it upside down. Now, there is also something called as data insufficiency. Right? You might have heard of this concept, data insufficiency. Yes. What is it about? It's about when you do not have enough data given to you, right? You can ask questions related to it. You can ask questions, follow-up questions. For example, I would ask, what I did in my interview was, he asked me the same question. He told me, if I give you 1 meter rope, would you be able to manage to measure time using it? I asked him, can I ask a follow-up question? He said, okay. Then I said, can I have a pendulum bob? Can I get a bob with it? So I would definitely tie that ball and then make it into a pendulum. And 1 meter length of pendulum, how to measure time, right? So these are the things that very less frequently happen. But then I want all of you to be prepared for it. Okay. So at such point of time, think lateral. There is something called lateral thinking. A separate session perhaps would help in that. You don't have to stick to the exact answer. Okay, you have to ask a few more questions and get more data. Okay, one of my friends also got a similar question from the same interviewer. What he answered was, he was from a mechanical background. He said, can I make an assumption? Okay, and the interviewer said, yes. So what assumption would you like to make? And then he says, can I make an assumption that if I burn the rope, it burns at 0.1 meter per second, right? And then he said that, okay, the amount of rope that burned will automatically tell me how many seconds have passed, right? So there can be multiple approaches to such questions, but then do not get panicked. Okay, ask more questions, get data, add on to your data set, and then think over it. The more questions you ask, the better you will be able to answer it. Okay, I just wanted to put this on floor. So good, thank you. Prachi, do you have any questions for them?
Yes, I have one question, which is a little on not so technical what Azhar asked. So I have very easy questions for you to ask. Okay, what do you think, what are your skills, Pooja? Not technical skills. I want to know something apart from technical.
Okay, I'm good. I can make good dishes. Like one of my hobbies is cooking, so I can make delicious cooking. So this is my one of skill, and another is I like singing, so I can sing well. So yeah.
Sing a song, Pooja.
Right now I can't remember it. Okay, I will take some time.
Have not told it.
Sorry?
Then you should have not said that I like singing.
Okay.
Okay, nothing to panic again. I just tried to catch you there. Nothing to panic.
Okay.
All I am saying is be ready for all of this. Yeah. It's all about confidence. I don't really want to check that how good are you at singing. It's all about confidence that people check. So when you say that I am good at singing, maybe you can just prepare 1 line or 2 lines. Nobody has that much of time to listen to your whole song. So they'll just say, okay, sing. And you're like, no, I can't sing. And then they were like, you just said you can sing, right? So it's like you had an opportunity, but you missed it. And it would have been great if you had just sang the song there. So what I am saying is, I'm not saying that you faked it. All I am saying is, please do not say anything in your answers which you don't possess or which you don't have. So don't just fake it, basically. I'm not saying, Pooja, that you faked it. I'm just saying,
I tried faking that.
so for example, a lot of people just to sound fancy, they say, I love reading. Now, if by God forbid, if interviewer is an avid reader, then you are gone. You are gone. If you are not a reader, and if your interviewer is a reader, just forget it. Forget it. You are gone. And then you'll say, no, I meant reading newspaper is my hobby. So then also they might say, okay, tell me 3 headlines of today's. And then you say, oh, I was so nervous for today's interview that I did not read today's paper. Dude, we all understand what you're trying to play around. So people, just to sound fancy, what do they say? They say, I have great analytical skills. And when they're asked, okay, great, you have analytical skills? Fine, this is 1 meter rope, go and measure time. Then they're like, I don't know, I just said it. It sounded fancy in the list of skills, so I just picked it up randomly. No. So please be sure of what you are speaking. If you say I have good analytical skills, then you should be able to answer a follow-up questions. So like Azhar said, when you are absolutely allowed to ask follow-up questions, even interviewers are allowed to ask follow-up questions. So please speak only what you are sure of. When you say I am good at dancing, and if your interviewer says, okay, go and dance, you should be ready with that. Okay, please don't lose your confidence over there.
Okay.
So thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Parth.
Thank you. I think
maybe
that's it from the.
Yes, that's it from us. Some final questions, if you have for us, we'll take, and then we'll close this session.
So
Next
it's already 8 o'clock. It's already 8 o'clock, and we started 15 minutes late. So I would extend it. If you have any, Manisha. Yep. Hi. Meanwhile, I would like to get some feedback while Manisha is trying to connect. In the chat window, out of 1, on the scale of 1 to 5, let us know how much are you enjoying the session. While Anukruti asks, what if they ask, give me an example of your leadership skill? Oh my God. Okay. Prachi, over to you.
Yes,
and I have
thank you so much.
This is
question.
The second part of the question. She says, and I haven't participated in any college event as a coordinator.
Okay, very nice question asked, Anukruti, and thank you for reminding me of this. Now, a lot of people, when they ask you that, tell me something about yourself, and they have done a lot, so they start telling that I coordinated this event and that event, I led this, I led that, I did this, I did that. No. Please do not blabber about yourself. Do not be so self-boasting, full of yourself. No. Just say that I have good leadership skills. Just say that. Then let interviewer ask. You take your interviewer to that question. You end your answer on this. And apart from everything, I believe my leadership skills are great. Now, interviewer will be curious. Okay, you just mentioned good leadership skills. Can you give me an example? Now, this is your chance when you tell them that this was one event where I did this, where I did that. Now, Anukruti, number 1, if you really have not participated anywhere where you think your leadership skills would have come in forward, first, are you really sure that you have good leadership skills? Number 1, because you have had no chance to prove it even to yourself. Okay, this is one question you should ask yourself. And secondly, if you're very sure, no, I have good leadership skills. However, whatever examples I have, they are not very professional or related to college. Even you can give your personal life examples. So even if you have coordinated one event at your cousin's wedding, which was something on you to manage, you can say that as well. That maybe not in my, I did not get any chance in my college. However, I managed 100 people Sangeet function at my cousin's wedding, in which I did everything from the scratch, from managing the catering to seating, calling everybody, inviting everyone, coordinating, and I did everything. So that is one way to answer. Secondly, if you have not done that either, and you're still very sure, you may just simply say one event which may or may not have existed. Nobody gets to know. But please be specific about it. Tell some details. It's completely fine if you fake things or if you make up things a little bit here and there. But it should not be an absolutely fake event. But even if you helped somewhere here and there, you may say that I led that event and this happened, that happened. So it's not necessarily to be from your college life. It can be a personal life example as well. Anukriti.
Awesome, Prachi. And that is exactly what I wanted to say. I think as a part of Toastmasters, me and Prachi, both of us understand that, and I want all of you also to check out what is Toastmasters International. And I might get back to the college with an idea for this club. There is something called as, exploring leadership. Rather than practicing it, you often explore leadership, right? It might be that one time when you might have helped your juniors with some event, right? It might be some kind of an advice that you might have given. It might be some kind of a small workshop that you might have run. It might be anything else, right? So, like for example, arranging a sangeet, or else picking up a birthday party. You might have done so many things for your crushes. You might have done so many things for your loved ones, right? But there is a barrier to it. So Prachi, would you like to address that? There should be some clear barrier to, while you take such personal examples. When we are getting personal, is there anything that we need to take extra care of?
Yes, the only extra care there is, you don't have to get into a lot of details, that whose wedding it was, what was the venue, how many
related to this. So Mansi says, should we tell about our family members in one line in introduction part?
Yes, you may tell that I am we are a family of 4. My parents, grandfather, and I. You may tell that, absolutely. That's totally fine. And one more.
About family members? About them?
No, about from family members, no. It's something about you, not your family members. Okay,
exactly.
So you may just say that we are a family of 4. We are all based in Kanpur, and then you continue. Please come back to yourself. Don't get too much carried away in your emotions. Don't talk about your family. They have asked about you. And Yash, you have a question there that if interviewer asks, what do you know about us? So this is for everyone. Please do read about the company only and only from the official website. Do not read from Wikipedia. Do not read from Quora. Quora is the worst platform for any official information. Please do not do that. Don't do that mistake. Go to Infosys.com, which is the official website of Infosys. Read about it. Read who's the CEO, who's the founder, in which year it was founded, what all it is into, what all branches does it have, what all verticals it has. Please go ahead and read that. It will definitely help you. And remember, only from the official website, nowhere else.
Super like that. Okay. Parth, I'll put in some links. I'll send some links to you.
I have answered it. It should not be more than 3 minutes. Please, Azhar, continue.
Shivani asks, is there any difference between on-campus and off-campus interviews? Definitely, the context differs, because in your on-campus interview, you know your competition. In your off-campus interview, you do not know your competition. So you have to be a bit extra prepared when you go for off-campus interviews. So that's the only difference. Otherwise, the method is the same. The rounds are the same, and the questions and the nature of the questions is always the same. The only thing is you have to be a bit more prepared, because across colleges, when people come up, it becomes difficult. Okay, so that's the only difference I see.
Yes, there's not much of a difference. The kind of, if you ask me, the quality of questions or anything differs, I don't think so. They don't expect different from on campus, different from off campus. No, nothing like that. But yeah, the competition part was very well put up by Azhar. Thank you. One thing
I would like to add on. So 2 things actually, 1 and 1.5. So first thing is, this happens in off campus interviews. They are a bit more in a hurry.
Yes.
Okay. Off-campus interviews, they will be in a bit more hurry. So there, the normal way of opening up and giving better answers, taking more time, that might not help. Okay. you'll have to be a bit quicker at those scenarios. So don't take more.
I think we had a couple of questions from Anil sir by YouTube. I think we can take those questions. Yes.
Sure.
Like there was one question, what did you find challenging in our recruitment process? Then what did you like in our recruitment process? I would like to take these questions, and I'll tell you, whosoever asked this question, let me tell you, there is no right or wrong answer to this. There is nothing. Yeah, it's a very open-ended question, and it has to be something which you genuinely liked. You may say that I really like the way this whole interview process is organized. Like everything is so procedured that we know exactly where to go, when to go, what time to go, and we're all patiently waiting. The whole process is very simple. You may say this. I'm not saying, please do not copy paste the answers that we are telling. I'm just giving one example. The other example you may say, what did you find challenging? If there was genuinely a challenge, you may say that maybe I found the venue a little difficult to locate. Maybe. I'm not saying that true, or it might or might not be true. And at the same time, if there was nothing challenging, you may say that you may say that, to be honest, I did not find anything challenging. It was very well procedured and communicated to all of us. We were here within the time. So everything went smooth for me. And take responsibility of your answers. People, let me tell you this. Please always use I statements to answer your questions. Don't say that this part of the interview is challenging. You may say, I believe for me, this part of the interview is challenging. Don't say, I didn't like the interview. This is not a generalized opinion. It has to be your personal opinion. So please always own your statements and say something like, in my opinion, the venue was a little difficult to find. However, I'm not sure about the others, but I was a little lost on the way. Just take responsibility of your answers. Okay, I hope you've understood this. And there was one more question. How much knowledge do we need to know about a company if any interviewer asks? So I think I have already answered this. Go to the official website, get to know its founders, which year was it founded, which all cities it is in, and what all verticals. What is the basic, I will say, functionality? What is the basic work of the company? What does it deal with is something that you should know. And if your company has any short form, for example, if you're applying for EY, so go and look what EY means. A lot of time people just apply and all their life they don't know what is EY. So tomorrow you're going to JP Morgan. Yeah. If tomorrow you're going to JP Morgan and you don't know the full form of JP, God bless you.
Well put over there. Okay. There are a few more questions. One is which are coming from YouTube. So how long do you plan to stay with our company? Would you go for higher education? How do you deal with this? Personal questions, yeah. I think this is personal interview. Yes, Prachi,
okay.
I'll have to handle it.
Thank you. These questions are, let me tell you, these questions are very diplomatic. You cannot have a straight yes. If you say, I'm planning to stay for 3 years and then switch, no. If you're saying, I am planning to retire from this company, no. No, everybody knows you're not going to retire. They will know that you're trying to flatter. So say that my association with a place is completely depends on how much I am learning. So as far as my learning continues and I grow in an environment, I would love to stick to it. Simple. No, keep it very simple. Keep it little diplomatic. I said, people, there's a very thin line between being smart and being stupid. Or maybe being smart and being smart. So don't cross that line. Give smart answers. But don't fall for traps like, no, I am going to retire. I'm marrying this company. I'll have children. My children will also work here. My grandchildren will also work here. No.
My ID card is like my Mangal Sutra. Don't do all of that. Okay. So now I'm going to come down to yes,
go for higher education. This is just one question I'll answer. So you may say, if you genuinely don't have any plans, a lot of people don't have any plans. So you may say that as of now, I have not. So you can say as of now. Okay, don't take the guarantee of full life. Just say as of now, I have not thought about it. But if my growth and my role demands, maybe I can think about it in future. But right now, I have not thought about it. Okay, just say stay safe side and say these kind of answers. So you
Okay, thank you so much.
in short. Yeah, over to you, Azhar.
So I'm going to come down to a very good technical question asked over here by Manasi. What about our mega project? That is our final year projects. Very important. Your project is going to be the breakthrough when it comes to technical interviews. They are going to ask you questions about it. If it is an Android application, make sure you have installed it on your phone. First things first. Because mine was an Android application, they told me to give me a demo right then and there. Make sure you're ready with your setup. Okay, if it is an Android application. If it is a web application, again, same applies. Make sure that it is hosted properly and the correct live version is on the hosting website. Okay, please make sure of that. If it is a Windows-based application, your folder, right, your file that you've created out of your project, that file is going to help you. Do not discuss everything, discuss only the data flow or the architecture diagram. Okay, the HLD and the LLD, I think you know high level design and low level design, right? Discuss that much only. Okay, do not start off with what was the mission and vision of the project and then this is how you're inspiring the nation and all. Not required. Okay, that's not Arnab Goswami over there. It's anything other than that. Okay, they're interested into knowing how do you plan with things and how many members have you worked with it. This happened with me and my fellow colleague Jainil Shah. We cleared an interview only on the basis of our project. They told us, if this is your project, what is your cost estimation and how will you earn profits out of it? We were like, okay, we want to work with you. We haven't thought of that level. But then we asked them, can we get 5 minutes to work on it? We sat with them, asked follow-up questions, how they do it in their company. I'm not going to reveal the name. We actually asked them, how do you do it? They told us a few parameters. We built a report right in front of them. Even such things happen. At the end of the interview, make sure it's a win-win process. Okay, you should win, your interviewer should win, and you will get selected out of it. Okay, so be prepared with that. If your project is ongoing, again, high level design, low level design, that's it. Okay, if full implementation is not done yet, remember they are going to come back at you and ask you why, and you should have a good, clear, crisp answer why you did not manage to complete it. Okay, yes, they will ask you to share your screens. Yes, Nirgude ma'am, very well added over there. So they might ask you to share your screens and show your development. That's true. If they ask what are the negative points in your project, what would be your answer? Again, what you feel is the weak point of it, you give it just like personal interview. Okay, turn it towards how are you going to overcome it?
Yes,
okay?
Very important.
It might be the resource consumption, it might be the lines of code, it might be the complexity, it might be the space it takes. But then how are you overcoming should be your more focus point rather than what is the weakness of it. Thank you, Kulkarni ma'am, for adding on to that. So people are in their design phase, then of course your high level and low level design document should be there. So keep that handy and show the block diagrams, have clear block diagrams. I would suggest have color printouts because it helps you give a better presentation. Okay, if offline, sorry. Online, of course, use good like recommend you Canva for this diagrams, flow diagrams and all. Check that. So that's about that. Now we are going to post this already 8:19. So I have a special segment which was not even okay. So this special segment is called as Candidly Yours. So we both are going to be candid at this point of time. Okay, I have a story, a personal story that I want to share, and I would love to challenge Prachi to share that with us. Okay. So closing this entire session, Prachi, one unforgettable memory from your interview. One unforgettable memory from your interview.
Okay. My interview, I will tell you, was probably, I'll say, divine. And rather it was, I don't know, somehow I know I'm gonna sound very, I might sound a little illogical there, but I have had full faith on God and I prayed a lot before my interview. So somehow it just happened to me that 3 days before my interview, my director sir called me. My college director, he was very much in touch with a couple of students to ask if they were doing good or not. So he asked me that come to my cabin, and he wanted to check that how am I going with the preparations. So there we were just discussing a broken phone. The thing happened, okay, it just went by. Again, I went back home, and my father told me that there's a new phone that is coming, and it is getting launched by 3 companies together. It's a phone by Google, and 3 companies together are launching that. I said, okay, fine. I just took that information and I left it. Then on the day of interview, one person asked me, hey, do you know the difference between DBMS and RDBMS? I said, dude, I don't even know the full form of it. So he gave me some quick 2-3 answers, and I said, okay, fine. I just let it go. And there was one more question that was asked just before the interview, and I went to the interview cabin. You will not believe exactly those questions which I have been hearing for last 3 days in some or the other form. Information that I was getting was exactly that information asked to me in my interview. The first question that my interviewer asked was, what is the difference between RDBMS and DBMS? Which just somebody told me outside the room, just randomly. I told those 2 things. And then the next question the interviewer asked was, do you know which is the latest gadget in the market? I told him that I remember there's a phone that has been launched by 3 companies together. It's by Google. First company is this, second is this. Sorry, I don't remember the third company. That's what I said. Then he said, okay, do you know there's one more iPhone that is getting launched? Do you know what's the speciality of it? I remember the conversation in my director sir's cabin. He told me that there's new Gorilla Glass, which is very special. So I told him everything that I knew. The important thing there was I was not faking anything. I just told them that whatever I knew, I told them this is I know, this is I don't, this is what I don't. So that's all. I just want to I want you all to remember just one thing. They are not looking for reasons to kick you out. They are looking for that one thing that they can take you in for. So just go with that answer, go with that confidence, and you will be in. They are not there to kick you out. They want to select.
Such a beautiful way of putting it.
They just want to select you one thing, and you're in. That's it.
A super like to that. Nice. Okay. Thank you so much, Prachi, and such a beautiful way of putting the entire interviewing process into a small sentence. Thank you. Now, this is one. Would you like to hear a story from my interview as well? And that's how we'll close the session for today.
Yes, surely.
Yeah. Okay. So, as already mentioned in my introduction, I was the cultural secretary of the college. People who are at a post, okay, and they write it in their resume, remember, you will be very highly scrutinized upon that. Okay. So this is a question that was asked to me. He said that you are a cultural secretary in this term. Now, how does it add value to your personal profile? Because you could have very easily sat in your class, enjoyed the sessions, and then scored well into your exams. Actually focused upon your grades, because my grades were not that awesome, to be very frank. Okay, they were not that awesome. I was a above average performer at that point of time, and all thanks to Dikshit ma'am, Kulkarni ma'am, all of these people who spoiled me so much, who gave me so much of time to work upon extra curriculum, but they made sure that I study. Okay, they used to rag me throughout, like, Azhar, you focus upon your studies before you get into the rest of the extra curriculum, and this has been done. So what my interviewer asks is, Azhar, you could have very easily gotten good grades by focusing upon your studies, and what makes you different by becoming a cultural secretary? At that point of time, I could have talked of all the events that I organized and the awesome feeling that I had. But then the time was really short, and Infosys people had a huge recruitment process, and my chance came almost towards the end. 9:30, the interviewers had to catch a train. I'm sitting over there in the room at 8:45. Right, and they have to leave within 15 to 20 minutes for catching a train. They were in a very hurry. Okay, and that's the point where they asked me such an important question, which sums up my journey as a cultural secretary in the college. I put it in a very small sentence. I said, I don't want to flaunt off all the events that I did, but I want to tell you one thing. that across my journey as a cultural secretary, I made sure that the best of the best went on the stage, because a stage was given to Gandhiji and a stage was given to Hitler. But what made the difference? The use of that stage made the difference. Gandhiji used it for non-violence and led a movement, while Hitler used it for violence and just used it for personal benefits. The same thing can happen in my college, wherein people can take the stage just to go out and violate rules and cause nuisance and just have fun, or else people can inspire others when they go up on the stage. As a cultural secretary, I made sure that only the people who make the good use go up on the stage. And if I were able to create that opportunity for them, forget about my studies, but this particular part is going to be remembered by me for a long time, right? So such things that you feel, right, things that are valid enough to be portrayed into interviews, do not hesitate. Okay, do not hesitate and try to keep it short as possible, because time is going to be a constraint. However much you might have prepared, if 9:30 they have to leave and your chance is coming at 9 o'clock, within 5 minutes they will end it up. But whatever you're answering, make sure you do not panic, you stay calm, you stay confident, you speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and just deliver the best. That's it. Okay, wishing all of you all the very best, and thanking Prachi so much for joining me in this venture and helping the students of WIT to get to know so many insights about personal interviews. And with that note, I think we are good to close today's session. And thank you, the entire audience who has been such patient listeners to us. Thank you so much, everyone. Over to you. Who do I hand it over?
Thank you so much,
Anita.
everyone.
Naik sir, I just want to add something to this. Naik sir.
Azhar is there?
Okay.
Azhar.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I would like to speak with Azhar for a moment.
Okay.
Hi, Azhar.
Hi, ma'am.
Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Hope you're fine.
Definitely, ma'am.
Yeah. Very happy to see you, Azhar, today. Let me tell all my students that Azhar was my very good student, favorite student. He was a student in my project group. He and Jainil Shah, they were the most active students in our department. Azhar was an all-rounder, you know, not only in academics, but he was a very, very active student in our department. He used to participate in almost all the events, right from the first year of his graduation to the last year of the graduation. He was the most active student that in our department. Okay, and he was very good with his academics, very good in his behavior towards all the faculty, very soft speaking, well mannered. I remember even Jainil Shah also. Okay, both the students, they were very favorite to all faculty. And of course, there is no doubt that he has a very superb communication skill. He had very good network with all the students in the department and very good handling capabilities. All the activities he used to handle very smoothly. Azhar, thank you so much for giving a remarkable contribution to all of the students as an alumni. Okay, today you have spent nearly 2.5 hours with us. We know how much valuable the time is for you people. Okay, but still you have managed to give us the remarkable inputs to all of our students. Thank you once again. Okay, and Prachi ma'am, sorry ma'am, not ma'am, Prachi, I'm thankful very much to you for your valuable inputs. You know, such inputs are very important for our students. They do not get from faculty at all, because faculty is always involved in giving some technical inputs. Even we have got these inputs which are very valuable to us. Behavioral skills, we know that they are very important to all our students. And I hope that all of our students have found this session very, very useful. Prachi has given almost all the inputs regarding gesture, posture, the way of speaking, the way of handling some important questions, how smartly you should answer all these questions. Thank you very much, Prachi.
Thank you so much, Anita ma'am. It really feels great that when somebody is so senior and somebody so loving showers all the love and all the respect. At the end of the day, all we want is love and respect, being humans. So thank you so much, Anita ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone, for being such patient listeners. And we did not mean to offend anybody. We did not mean to scare anyone. We did not mean to pressurize you. If you felt at any point in time, we were just trying to help you. And please stay in touch with us. You can contact us on FB or Instagram, and we'll be more than happy to help you at any point in time. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Azhar is a very good friend of mine too, very well spoken and well mannered. Thank you, Azhar, for this opportunity. He called me yesterday and it was totally my pleasure. So please don't feel nervous at any point in time. We are all here to hire you and not fire you. Just remember that. And you just nail it. Don't worry.
Thank you, Prachi. We expect to have such sessions further also for the upcoming batches. Okay, it will be more valuable to them. Thank you.
She speaks almost over everything, ma'am. Assertiveness and putting things, lateral thinking. L&D is a department specialized into behavioral skills and personality.
Yeah, I have been listening to you all continuously from the start of the session. I found it very interesting. We did not know how 2.5 hours have gone by. Session was very, very interesting. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Thank you so much, everyone. Even when we are overtime, you're there patiently with us. Thank you. And you can tell us in the chat box that how much did you like the session? Did you enjoy the session? Did you enjoy the session? Show some excitement. Make some noise.
It was great. Okay. Both of you were really great. Yes.
Okay. And we tried to answer all the questions. If still you have any questions, please contact us offline. We'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Azhar, bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, Azhar.
Okay. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Good night. Bye, ma'am.
I'll visit the campus soon. I'm in Sholapur now.
Yes. Yeah, we expect you very soon to meet us.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll also come to Campus Connect with Infosys team.
Definitely, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.